If we have learned anything over the past 20 plus years of hunting our property, it's that there's no such thing as the perfect tree for a tree stand or a flat piece of ground for a ground blind. With most of our land being reclaimed strip ground from the coal mines back in the day, we have our work cut out for us no matter what we try and do. On this episode, Austin and I are tackling a project we've been planning for a while now, the 50 Acres Blind Project. On this episode of the off-season, we're going to take a step back from talking about broad management techniques like we normally do and focus on a small project that Austin and I have been wanting to do forever. Our idea is to take a very productive corner of our farm here in PA and create another location that we can access and hunt without the deer knowing we are there. I'm sure everyone out there has a great hunting spot with either no trees for a tree stand or uneven ground for a ground blind, which can be frustrating. But on this episode, we're going to show you the situation we have and exactly how we're going to make the best of it.
Well, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the off season. You know, we're used to bringing you guys tips and management practices, but you know, it's the off season. It's not always about that. It's what's going on here on our farm and what we're doing. And today we're working on a project on the backside of our property. We call this piece the 50 acres. You know, I killed splits in this field a couple of years ago. It was a 7-year-old deer that we never really laid eyes on until that day that I shot him. I just shot splits. Because we got constant prevailing winds out of the south heading straight down in to our thick bedding area where all of our mature bucks in this area are spending their time. So we're coming in here today with the dozer. You know, this is a steep bank. There's not many huntable trees, you know, other than the tree that we have a stand in there. There's really nothing. And on this side, it's old strip ground, so it's just locust trees. So we're coming in here, like I said, with the dozer. We're gonna bank out this hillside so we can put a blind there. And on those days that we do have that north wind heading up over the hill, we're gonna be safe to hunt that ground blind. We don't have to worry about the deer catching our scent. It's not blowing across the field. It's heading up over the hill the other direction. No, but this simple little project that we're here doing today, I think is gonna be a big factor in success on this hunting plot. You know, a lot of our big mature bucks hone in on this area and we really just can't hunt them because of that wind. So I think this is gonna be a big key to some success here this season.
Kip Adams from the National Deer Association here. One of the most important things that we need to keep in mind from a hunting perspective is the wind. Unfortunately, many hunters today understand about wanting to be downwind from a deer and actually selected stand sites based on where that wind is coming from. Far fewer hunters take into account thermals though. Essentially, thermals are as ground warms in the morning and becomes warmer than the air above it, we can get some scent molecules that then rise. Conversely, opposite happens at night. So what this means is even if you know where the wind is coming from, a wise hunter will still take into account where those thermals are because his or her scent may be drifting down or up, even if the wind is coming from a certain direction.
Okay guys, well we got that pad in exactly where we wanted it. We're gonna get this blind up there, open it up, make sure it fits up there good, and then stake it in exact angle that we wanted, and it's all good to go. You know, we're gonna let these deer get used to it. We've got plenty of time, like 2.5 months before Pennsylvania season. So we got plenty of time for these deer to get used to this blind, but let's get to it. Okay guys, well there you have it. A little project on a piece of property that we call the 50 acres that's on the backside of our main farm. Putting this ground blind on the bank of the steep hillside is complete, you know. Got the chairs in a blind, got it all staked down exactly where we want it. Actually put a scrape stick out with some buck fever, and we're set to go until season. You know, we're gonna let this sit here. We're not gonna try to brush it in because it's gonna be here long term. We're gonna let these deer get used to it, and hopefully we can get a deer out of it killed this fall.
It's November 4th and I'm back out. We're actually sitting in a ground blind that we put in just for this deer because it's very rare that we get a north-south wind, which allows us to hunt that tree stand over there. A north wind's blowing the scent right back out into this plot. And with this steep hill and not too many trees left on this part of the property, we brought the dozer in, got a bench in this hillside, and we put this bog gravedigger blind set right on this bench. This actual buck that we're chasing was on a trail cam pick in front of this blind the day we set it back in August. So tonight the opportunity is mine, and we're gonna see if we can't close out this chapter.
Unfortunately, our target buck, the 50 Acres 10, didn't make an appearance this evening, but we did see quite a few deer, and at least with them, our plan worked perfectly. The deer entered, fed, and used the clover plot in front of us most of the evening without catching our wind. At the end of the day, Austin and I consider this project a success. We drew up a plan that would help us for many deer seasons to come, and we executed it. I think this concept is something Austin and I will definitely use on several other pieces of our property in the coming years. Like we said, as this series progresses, there may be more episodes like this one where we show a small project that we are doing on one of our properties and how it will help us down the road. As always, thanks for watching another episode of The Off Season.